So, welcome to Reprogramming Pain for Childbirth. My name is Hadija. I am a traditional birth keeper and certified Ayurvedic doula, and I'm so happy that you are here today. So, the reason that I wanted to do this class is because there is really not enough um, information out there around childbirth that actually protects physiology. So I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get through this class. But birth itself is not just a mechanical, physical thing that happens to us, but a deeply transformative experience. This is why I've created my course, 9 Moons Holistic Birth Preparation. And the aim with that The aim with that is to shift the narrative around birth itself and to empower women to reclaim the true power of birth and postpartum. And we can do this by understanding pain as a powerful part of the process in birth. And if we do that, we are immediately shifting into embracing birth with a sense of the wonder and sacredness that it is capable of. This is about honoring birth as a profound rite of passage and not merely a medical procedure. And it's the opportunity to connect with an ancient tradition of strength and transformation. A lot of our human traditions have held this knowledge for a long time. It has belonged with women. And so now you are here as a part of this unbroken lineage. And I would like to teach you in this class 3 ancient techniques that can get you started on your way to reprogram how you perceive pain, especially in relation to birth, which is why you're here. So let's reframe and reclaim the sacred journey of birth. So, across many cultures, birth has always been recognized as a profound rite of passage. Unfortunately, in our modern medical system, this sacred event has often been reduced to a mere medical procedure. And this is normal because the medical system operates in a particular way. And it's important to acknowledge that historically, pain during childbirth is associated with transformation and empowerment instead of danger. So today I'm inviting you to reconnect with this vital threshold of life. So birth, as I have said already, is an initiation into a new phase of life. It's the creation and continuity of life. So let's dive really deep today. So my name, as I mentioned, is Hadija. I am a mother of 3 beautiful home birth children. And I'm not only bringing my personal experience, but also I'm a certified Ayurvedic doula and traditional birth keeper. I'm also, unfortunately, the only doula from my country, the Maldives, because in my country, 30 years ago, birth was completely medicalized. And as a result, we have lost touch with these aspects of birth, not just the initiation, sacredness, the profound rite of passage, but also education and empowerment is sadly lacking amongst my people when it comes to birth and postpartum. Whereas in the past, our people had a very strong tradition of home birth and of mother warming, just like many, many traditional cultures around the world. So it only takes a single generation to lose this kind of knowledge forever, and this is unfortunately what the medicalization of birth has meant for my people. is that we are losing touch very rapidly with our own traditional knowledge. So I have spent the past decade plus immersed in the world of birth through my own experiences. I also have been working with herbs and traditional remedies and body work specifically for childbirth. So I am here to decolonize the birth space by bringing back some of that traditional wisdom and knowledge, that embodied wisdom that women have always held around birth. And now you are joining me in this lineage. So I just want to honor you for being here and for being open enough to connect with this aspect of our human traditions and of yourself. So, firstly, we are going to look at the actual science behind birth because the science matches up if you study the physiology of birth. And we'll look at the hormonal dance, we'll look at the brainwave states and how they change during labor, and how truly amazing it is that our bodies are completely designed for this experience and everything works in harmony. So, we're also going to look at something called the fear, tension, pain cycle. So, this is a key piece in birth education that will make a lot of sense to you once we dive into this, especially whilst you're in labor. And understanding this cycle is crucial because it empowers us to transform that fear into something a bit more peaceful. Then we're going to look through the Ayurvedic lens at the subtle energetics at play, and I'm going to offer you a unique perspective on how energy flows during birth. So this holistic view, so it is a completely holistic perspective, and it will give you a much deeper insight into the birthing process. And as I said, you're going to learn 3 Ayurvedic techniques for reprogramming pain. These are practical tools that you can put into place immediately, wherever you are at in your birth preparation journey. And I have used them myself, and I can tell you immediately they are going to help. And then I'm going to introduce to you how you can deepen this work through the course 9 Moons, which is the Holistic Birth Preparation course that I'm about to release. So by doing this class today, you are on the wait list to find out, to be the first to find out when the course is finished and released. So this is going to be very unique because this is the first time this is being offered by someone from my background. There is no independent birth education in the Maldives, and although I'm not offering this just for Maldivian women, it will benefit women all around the world. All right, so let's just get through this incredible, fascinating world of hormones. So, during birth, the hormones work together like an orchestra. So each has its own unique role, and this basically drives the process of birth. So the hormone, excuse me, the hormone that starts birth off is oxytocin. We know this as the love hormone, and it's responsible for feelings of safety, initiating those contractions when labor starts, and for creating that beautiful bond between mother and baby. So once that gets underway, we have endorphins that act as natural opiates. These bring a feeling of euphoria, almost like we're moving between worlds. And they help to manage pain naturally. So, did you know that we have our own internal pain management system during labor? My mother used to tell me all the time when I was little that life will never give you anything more than you can handle. And I found this the most true when it came to birth. So, endorphins allow for birth to actually be a joyful experience. We also have catecholamines, such as adrenaline, They are crucial during the transition phase when we're actually pushing the baby out, and they kick. So let's have a look at some ways in which some commonly used routine interventions can affect our energy flow in the body. So I'm starting with episiotomy, which is not always where the interventions begin, but we'll look deeper into understanding interventions in a standalone class within 9 moons, completely dedicated to interventions and the medicalization of birth, and how you can navigate that. So I'll be providing specific tools for navigating those interventions that come up as you are in labor itself, which is often a fear, something that can um, reduce our level of confidence, is not knowing whether we are going to be able to actually navigate the interventions. If they're pushing epidurals on us, what do we do? If they offer us this, what do we do then? So we're going to look at a framework in 9 moons for how to tackle this. So you are going to get actual practical tools for how to do that. So the thing with episiotomies is it's basically a cut to the root chakra, which is where we hold energy. So when we do yogic practices, if you're familiar with yoga, there are some particular energetic locks that are performed during certain poses called bandhas. One of these bandhas is Mula Bandha, which is at the root chakra. That is exactly what is being cut when they cut for an episiotomy. And essentially, it means that your energetic, the meridian or the chakra, the where the energy is flowing, is being disrupted in a very significant way. It actually interrupts the flow of energy to that particular part of your body. So this is why this is the part of birth education that women are not told anymore, because birth is very rapidly losing its sacredness, and we are losing this kind of energetic knowledge around birth. This is why I wanted to create this class, so that it wouldn't be lost. Now let's look at something like a C-section, which is an incision that occurs at the sacral solar plexus gate. It goes right into the womb, which is the seat of our creativity. And it also affects the Manipura chakra, which is our personal willpower, and digestion as well, because it's those two areas are located very close to each other. And it has a huge impact on these energetic centers. There is a lot more research being done around people's embodied experience of C-section healing, and we are going to look once again in the full course at some energetic ways to heal those energy centers that are being disrupted. And now, something that is more common than episiotomies or C-sections is the ubiquitous epidural. So I know a lot of people say you're not going to get a medal for having an unmedicated birth, but actually, there are some significant advantages to refusing an epidural, because epidurals block the flow of apanavayu. And often, when you get an epidural, you will end up having to lay on your back, which is once again not conducive to that downward flow. It's always how you position yourself during labor and birth really matters, because just think about it, it's common sense. We're working with the downward flow. When you're lying flat on your back, you're not in downward flow. So it can dull the sensations we are feeling energetically as well as physically, and it blocks apanavayu. So we need to recognize that every intervention we are offered has some kind of energetic consequence. Even just vaginal examinations where a hand is being inserted or something is being inserted upwards, energetically that is blocking apanavayu. which is why a lot of women will feel intuitively like they do not want to be checked. They do not want someone um, putting their hands inside them when they are in that active state of downward flow. So, one of the things about Nine Moons is I wanted to create a course that would integrate science and the subtle body because, in my experience of birth, the central channel literally opens up, which means all the chakras have to open up. The hip bones move aside, the body physically opens for the baby to pass through. And this means the central channel and all those lower chakras in particular have to open. The energy has to be flowing between, the higher and the lower states of being. And this is all connected with how we feel in those meditative, trance like states that we enter during birth. So, what are chakras to begin with? They are energy centers in the body and they actually correspond with our endocrine glands. So, I'll be doing a full class on chakras and the body as well as a part of Nine Moons. So, what this means is the chakra influences specific hormones and specific understanding of this connection, of the flow of that energy. Apanavayu can only flow if there are no blockages energetically. So, when the energy is flowing freely, hormones are balancing themselves, and the synergy is really important for holistic preparation. So, this is a part of your preparation process to connect with these energy flow whilst you are still pregnant. As much as you can do this, as soon as you can start doing this process, the more benefits you're going to get. So it's kind of like, in a way, it's like hypnobirthing, except we are working with the actual energetics of the body. We're not just putting ourselves into what happens when you put on an oxygen mask when the plane's going down? There's that scene from Fight Club, if you've ever seen that movie, where you hyperventilate and then you put yourself into a docile state. This is not what we want with birth. And sometimes when we do birth preparation without any connection to the energetic aspects of what's happening, the energetic flow, apanavayu, and the central channel, the throat to womb connection, we can end up just working ourselves through breath work into a docile state, which can end up working against us and against us having an actual empowering birth experience, especially if we are within a medicalized setting. I hope that made sense. And this kind of holistic preparation combines that scientific understanding of hormonal flow with a deep awareness of the subtle body. So, just a very quick look at the subtle anatomy of birth. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, as I said, I'm going to do a whole class on this within Nine Moons, but this gives you a bit of an idea of what physical parts correlate to which chakra so you can have some kind of grounding within the process, and also the hormones that are linked. So let's look at pain as a portal. Pain itself is not something to be feared or avoided when birth is happening. It's a signal of transformation. So when we approach pain with awareness, it transforms from being something daunting into being something meaningful in the birth experience. This conscious engagement is what creates that sacred triad in birth, which is the interplay of energy, hormones, and consciousness. So now let's look at those 3 Ayurvedic tools that I promised you to help reprogram pain. So these 3 tools are smell and root connection. So our sense of smell is connected to the root chakra. It grounds the body and calms the limbic system. we're going to look at left nostril breathing, which is a form of pranayama, breath work, that is a part of yogic teachings. This activates the parasympathetic So this is known as Chandra Nadi, and it is known for having cooling and calming effects. And it's a really simple practice. You can start this right now, see how you feel, and see how it changes your body and your mood. So you can use this anytime, not just during birth. As I said, the more you practice these little rituals with intention, the more powerful they become. Okay, let's move on. So let's explore Abhyanga. This is one of my favorite Ayurvedic practices where we basically cover the body from head to toe with warm oil. Now, in Sanskrit, the words for oil and love are the same, sneha. And I love that. I love that because when I do Abhyanga, I literally feel like I am wrapped in in this cocoon. I can't even describe how beautiful the feeling is. And you don't need you don't need to have a specific technique. Mhm. Yeah. So in Ayurveda, we traditionally use sesame oil, not the roasted kind. You don't want to smell like a salad or Asian salad dressing, but unroasted, organic, warm sesame oil. If you can't get that, then you can go with sunflower oil, or you can even use ghee. Ghee is probably preferable for some people, and some people may not want to use ghee. Almond oil is another good choice. But when it comes to pacifying vata, which is the dosha that we are most concerned with for birth and postpartum, it's always sesame oil traditionally. And what this does, when you start this practice during pregnancy, it gives you beautiful, glowing, nourished skin. It's okay. And this act of self-love helps prepare you for welcoming your baby. This is something I did personally, both in the lead up to um, during my preparation phase during birth, um, for birth, sorry, and also during postpartum. This is a crucial bodywork practice for postpartum that pacifies and grounds the mother after birth. And traditionally, the mother is supposed to be. I apologize for my baby being so disgruntled. But traditionally, and this made me cry when I found out, but traditionally, the mother is supposed to be massaged every single day with warm oil after birth. How beautiful is that? Imagine if we lived in a world where that was the reality. That's how we treated mothers after they gave birth. Isn't that phenomenal? All right, so now I'm going to wrap up because I think we have gone as far as we can go with this. Basic summary of what I have given you today is that when we work with the energy of birth, pain becomes a messenger, not an enemy. It's a natural part of the birthing process. It signals changes and it's guiding us through the journey of birth. And by the end of 9 moons, you are going to have a fully fleshed out birth plan. Whatever kind of birth you are preparing for, whether that's a hospital birth, a home birth, a free birth, any of these things, it's actually really important to consider um, how you would like your birth to go. So I will be, as a part of the course, I'm including all these beautiful resources that you can download and print. They've been beautifully illustrated by Katie Atkinson of Studio Spirit is Soul. And the artwork that you see for the cover has been illustrated by a dear friend of mine. So it's really a visually beautiful course. I'm so proud of it. But the most important part of it is it's a holistic birth preparation journey. And we are also going to look at postpartum as a part of that. And I'm including within the course completely for free a specific mini course on postpartum where you can become familiar with what is happening within the body after birth. And as part of that, I'm including a complete 42-day meal planner as well in the 10th moon, which is the free course included with 9 moons as a bonus. So, and that's got all the recipes in it, and that's designed to help you after birth. You know, it's broken down into the different phases of healing that occur after the birth of a baby, because birth is just like a small blip. You know, it's important to prepare for it, but then we've got postpartum, which lasts 42 days. And in Ayurveda, they say how a woman is treated in the first 42 days of after giving birth will set her up for the next 42 years of her life. So don't wing it, you know. Get prepared. Learn about traditional foods to eat in this time. Learn about the phases of digestion that occur during postpartum for enhancing your healing and making your birth something that you don't have to recover from. And walk into your birth experience with confidence that you got this, because you do. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that the techniques that I've given you will help you with your journey of birth preparation. And you are on the wait list, as I mentioned, to find out when 9 Moons is released. So keep an eye on your email inbox, which is where I will be announcing when the course is ready. And yeah, I've really enjoyed presenting this class today, and thank you for putting up with my baby's interruptions. We have to do these things in these ways. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or send me an email. You'll find all the links in my Instagram bio. And I look forward to seeing you in this course. And if not, may you have an empowering, confident birth experience and a deeply nourishing postpartum. So many blessings to you.